Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of The X Factor.
She's got on her hat.
All right. Going on vacation. Hey, Scott.
It looks cute.
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Oh, I need to go to the comments. I'll say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I'm most of the comments.
Hi, Scott.
I see hey everyone by a Facebook user. I'm not sure who that is. And then hello, Kimmy.
Hi, Johnny.
Oh, hey, Johnny. It's nice to see you again. Hey, Kim.
There's two Kims.
Kim and Kimmy.
Kim and Kimmy. Could have like a Kim and Kimmy type thing going on.
And then we'll have another one if the Horns come in. Kimberly Horn.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You do Kim 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
Hi,
Okay.
Johnny.
We're going to have a fourth party come in.
Oh, silver headphones.
See.
Trying.
It still looks good.
There you go, Nikki. I got to thinking about it, and I was maybe tossing around the idea of the viewers coming up with our topic. Make it interesting.
True. And there's always Jeffrey. He'll always talk to us. We know that. You could ask him if he moved my bear yesterday.
anybody got any topic ideas in our viewing audience? I always wing it. That's part of my personality.
Um,
Yeah, I sent a link to Nikki. Oh yeah. Winging it is fine.
you can see if any of those girls want to say hello or any messages from them come through. I don't know. Or anybody else wants to talk to us.
Yeah, I'll probably be. Okay. Why don't we go around and answer that question?
What is it? What type of precautions do you guys take before an investigation? Full Ghostbuster suit. No. Just protection. Just like basically I sage myself, and then before I go into any investigation, I do the white light shielding. Surround myself in white light, and then I wear my stones.
For myself, when I go into an investigation, I just know that my guides are with me, and I introduce myself, and I always announce, I come with love, stronger than your hate and your hurt. I come with love. That's the big defense there.
Yeah. Once I started calling on my guides, like the stronger they got. I know like they're always there. Especially if I feel like threatened or something.
Right.
Me personally, I just go in guns a blazing full of. I mean, I already know my guides are with me. I don't really say anything. I just, I never go in completely blind because I like to know who I'm talking to. So,
I'm gonna go in with this theme song.
There's only a couple times I've ever went in blind, and it was at somebody's house. They wanted me to find out who was there with them. Yeah, I just go in and I'm like right away. I'm like, well, hey Albert, how are you doing today? I know you're here. You know,
Hi, Pam.
That's how I pretty much just come in. You know, wherever I'm going. You know, I don't ever go in blind unless it's
Hi.
somebody's house.
Yay!
There's Miss Nikki. All right, now
How you
you can
doing?
answer the question. I'm gonna put you on the spot. You can answer the question now. That's the question. You have an answer for that, Nikki?
Okay, so I'm just reading it. It's taking a bit of time to come through my end. So. Well, for me personally, I get quartz and white stones. Also, I sage myself. I ask my angel guides to protect me, and
Oh, did you finish?
Yep.
What you were saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We all
I got
finished.
all
I was a bit
quiet.
quick.
Okay.
I was very fast with that.
At the Bill Mansion too. When they did that investigation, both of us got attacked by the owners, which is
Wow.
Jay, Bill, and there was another person. She's another investigator, new to learning her psychic gifts and her skills. I'm not new to this, so when I started to knew it was an attack, because you started to get right as I was falling to sleep, all these really bizarre, violent images. I wasn't like, you can't make out what they are, but I recognized an attack, and I didn't feel like I was so tired. I just said, Mary, help me, Holy Mary, Mother of God, help me fall asleep. And I was out like somebody hit me with a mallet, and I had no problem sleeping through the night. Her, on the other hand, woke up screaming and crying, and I didn't hear any of that. And I told her later how to protect herself from something like that, how to respond to something like that. You throw love at them. You can ask your guys. You can just straight up spit in his face. They can go right there and get off of me. You have no connection to me. Stop it. Go home.
I know this comment was put up. The one place I went into, she kept seeing and hearing different things, and again, I went in there blind, and when I had on my ITC equipment, I heard kind of a growl sound and whatnot, and I got to looking at the house that she was in, and her parents had 2 bears.
Oh wow.
Taxidermied.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was up above towards the ceiling, and I'm like, I think those bears are kind of hanging out with their bodies. And then, but while I was there, she started crying. The REM pod was just lighting up crazy, and voices were coming through constantly on the SB7. And one particular phrase that came out that I didn't hear right away, but she did, was the phrase, "check it out." And again, I had no idea what was going on. I was just like listening, trying to figure out who was there. She starts kind of weeping a little bit, and come to find out afterwards that her best friend had passed away like the year before, and almost every time that he was trying to show something to her, he'd be like, hey, check it out,
Trying to get her attention.
So it was him coming through that she was constantly seeing and hearing. But we got another question. We can start with Angela.
Yeah, it was the Bill Manor, Fremont, Ohio. Pam asked me, are you talking about the Bill Mansion in Fort Wayne? No, it was the Bill Manor in Fremont, Ohio. It's across from the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Library.
Do you see the question?
Also, do you also do something after an investigation to keep anything from attaching to you? So every place I go, when I finish up an investigation, like at the Bill Manor, what I did and what I taught, the new person who the investigation is when you go through the place again, go through every room and tell the spirit, you're welcome to stay there. Do not come home with me. Don't follow me home. You can't attach to me. You can't follow me home. And I just leave them there.
Yep, that is same.
All right, Rebecca.
Something similar to that, but I also sage. Make sure I'm saging myself and my surroundings before I go home.
I did the same thing as Beck. And
You do the same thing, Nikki?
yep, I say every time, hey, thanks for letting me come to your location, but you'll stay here and don't follow me
So
home.
far, I'm probably one of the only people I've met in this field that when I leave a place, I go out of there saying, come on home with me.
And
I always have open doors here at the apartment, and so I don't have any fear of anything. My Star family takes care of it if it's something bad. I don't have to worry about it. And so far.
2 minutes later, into our spirit box session.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
What's
Back in a sec.
favorite device to use on an investigation?
Favorite device on an investigation? That's hard to say because I don't like to rely on devices too much. I usually rely on my psychic senses because they're the most reliable for me. I do try the S box every once in a while and get something going, but I really like just a plain recorder, voice recorder, and just to pick up EVPs. I'll get that running, and I'll start asking questions and get responses. And that's, for example, the most recent investigation that we're just on, that at the Bill Manor while I was there, we went down to the basement and I kept picking up this female, and she told me her story. She told me about a divorce and her cheating husband. So I asked the other investigator to bring up that recorder and have the red light going, and I asked her to yell into that recorder everything she thought about her ex-husband cheating away. And she said you need to get responses off the recorder, and then it wasn't even 15 minutes into the recording that we started to hear her speaking about this.
All right, what's your favorite, Rebecca?
That's a hard one. I mean, I rely mostly on what I get and what I feel, but it's a combination between that and what I use as an investigator, because I find that as an investigator, when we're using the tools and the software that we use, it helps give us, what do you call it? It shows us what we got as well as what we sensed. I can't think of the right word that I want to say right now, but so I like using Phasmabox. I like using my SP11 dual scan box. Phasmabox is cool because unlike an ordinary portal with the reverb effects and everything, you can actually hear the voices that come through clearer than on a spirit box, and that's why I prefer to use Phasmabox if I use software. But I'm always checking out other new apps and things like that. But as far as ordinary stuff, I would definitely say my spirit box or my touch lantern. It's like a REM pod, and I speak to the spirits, and that's how I get them to interact and show evidence that they're close and they're near.
All right, Nikki, what do you like to use?
So pretty much mine's everything's the same as Berg. So my gift, I also like to use a spirit ball. And yeah, spirit balls or ghost balls or cat balls, whatever you like to call them. So yeah.
Oh. Now I'm positive I'm a psychic medium, but
Yes,
I
you
do
are.
the exact opposite as Angela. I second guess every single split thought. I got to hear it out loud. I got to see it,
Mm-hmm.
and my guides, Star Family, all know that. And so that is 90% of the reason why my ITC devices light up like there's no tomorrow. It's because that's the only way that I'm believing what I'm being told, and they all talk to me through it. And so, yeah, that's I just basically just I'm a very loud communicator. I don't use the word investigator very often because the human race needs investigated. The spirit world does not. They are real, and they're more alive than most humans are. And so I just, that's why I call it communicator or communication. Boy, Pam, you should be on the show. You could be like the interviewer, the host.
Yeah, come on, Pam.
She can be like our Barbara Walters.
We got all kinds of stuff. I'll send her a link too if she wants to. You want to come on, Pam? I don't mind. So we'll answer anything you got. Mr. X, your voice volume is lower than your guess.
There we go.
Okay. Did I get louder?
What's your most memorable? Okay. I'll answer that question while he's fixing that. Mine would be West Melbourne Sunday, which was Woodlow's homestead in Kingvale in Perth, and yeah, got a lot of questions answered for the client and had a really good time.
What was your most memorable investigation? Post Town Elementary School in Midtown, Ohio. I was in the nurse's station, and I kept picking up a nurse who was very frustrated with the adults who were not taking care of their kids and getting their kids to the doctor. And these children had very serious illnesses, and she was a nurse there in the 1930s. And I explained to the paranormal group lead, you might want to ask her, one of your questions, are you frustrated with the parents? And he said, are you frustrated with the parents not taking their kids to a doctor? Well, he had put a flashlight on his flat table, and he was supposed to loosen the end and so that make the flashlight come on and off in response to questions, but he forgot to loosen it. So the flashlight stayed off, it just started spinning in a clockwise direction, right in the middle of the table, spinning, faster and faster, and then it slid it into the table and stopped. We also had, not on that same investigation, but out that same location, we had a disembodied voice of one of the spirit children, Billy, who came through a portal and was disembodied in the hallway, speaking at the same time. We've seen apparitions there, as a group of something crawling across the ceiling. And I've seen quite a few apparitions there myself. So Post-Town Elementary is bar none the best place to investigate as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, and by the way, Pam, I sent you a link if you want to come in and be the interviewer. I sent you a link on your Facebook Messenger if you want to come in. It's up to you.
Join the party, Pam.
All right. What's been your most memorable investigation, Rebecca?
That's a hard one. I've had too many, but one of them I could choose would be Union Cemetery, which is one of the most haunted cemeteries in New England, where I had an experience with the white lady whose name was Harriet. And the story of Harriet is that she basically died in her wedding dress and she was searching for her son. Mm-hmm. And I had a vision of her in the middle of the road, and she looked surprised and was kind of like looking around, and she was wearing the white gown and she had like the brown hair. And she came through quite a few times for us at the cemetery, and I caught her as an orb. And I was seeing things in the cemetery, like a lot of psychic rods, and I felt like all the spirits basically around me, like I was being squeezed in. I had a lot of my touch devices and REM pods go off. There's just a lot of activity. I got some photos with a lot of manifestations in it, and we tried to contact a spirit called Red Eyes, who was a man who was supposedly burned on fire a long time ago. And that was the first time that I went to the cemetery, and I was using a pair of copper dowsing rods, which was the first tool that I've used in the paranormal investigating. And while I was using the copper dowsing rods, me and my investigator, Ryan Jarrell, were asking questions about if Red Eyes was in the area and if he wanted to communicate with us and if he could show himself. And I got to the point of asking that question. About 2 minutes later, a white orb appeared right in front of me, flying by me.
Wow.
All right, Ms. Nikki.
So I'm new to doing paranormal investigating. My first paranormal, I'll probably say Woodlow's homestead in Perth. We went out on Sunday and I got a lot of evidence. The former owner of the place, who actually was the architect and designed it in 1871, Mr. Bird, he came quite a lot, and we had a good chat for about 2 hours. So, yeah.
It's
like
good to
welcome
meet
Ms.
you all.
Pam Harris.
Hey, Pam.
Nice to meet you.
A face with a
Me
name,
too.
you know. I got all kinds of questions.
I don't know what my most memorable was because I've had just as many things exciting happen here as I have at the cemetery, as I have at the high school. I've even had exciting things happen in on the East Coast while I was sitting here in Wisconsin on a podcast. You know, so my abilities are, I love them. You know, with the ITC equipment, and so I don't know what would be. I'm always excited. I'm always excited every time I get the benefit, the blessing of being communicated with. And so,
So just so you know, I'm not an investigator. I follow everyone. I have been on investigations. Um, I'm very lucky to have been able to do that. And I go with my friend Mandy from Ghost Sisters in Marion, Ohio. And I've been on about 11 or 12 of them. And I'm actually booking another one. So I'm not on a team and I'm not an investigator, but I love it. Just so you know a little bit more about me. So I always come up with all kinds of questions.
Love you,
all
Pam.
right, what's the next one?
So you are all mediums, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you think that your mediumship enhances or enables you either way on an investigation?
Who wants to go first?
I'll do it. So with me, when I'm investigating, I don't really like to do my mediumship. The only time I will do it is if I feel unsafe or if another investigator, I pick up identity that's not the most nicest. I'll be like, hey, you may want to step back or you may want to protect yourself a bit more. But besides that, then outside investigations, I will help other teams.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Oh, Angela, go ahead.
And so on investigations, I use my abilities to learn from the spirits why they're there. I let them just talk to me, and then I'll pass along that information. And based on that, what might be the best questions to ask and to get a response from. For example, if a child is there, and I'll ask them about, hey, would you like some candy? And I usually get the response. These kids get very excited about candy.
Yeah.
Or with hide and seek game, and I'll count to 10. You want to play hide and seek, and you can sometimes hear them run off to hide. And that can generate some evidence, and you might see a shadow person or a shadow child go by. I've also helped investigators kind of save time. If there's nothing in the space, I tell them there's nothing in this room. I'm not picking anything up here. Let's go to another room and where we can pick something up, and they'll pick something up, and then they can actually collect evidence while they're doing line grid and hope to catch something somewhere and end up wasting their time. If I concentrate a place where I know there's activity or move where there's a spirit, then they're going to contribute to their efforts of looking and actually gather evidence. And that's just been the case. It just seems like when I'm on a team, it's just so much more helpful for people who are not sensitive or psychics to use their equipment most effectively.
The echo is somebody's, as we're coming out, somebody's speaker, it's going back into their mic. I don't know who it is.
Me.
That's why I muted my mic to see if it was me, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. But that would be where the echo's coming from.
I don't know. Maybe it's. Do you hear it when I talk?
And I'll turn my mic off.
No.
No,
Nope.
I don't think so.
Say something, Angela.
Hello.
I don't know if it's echoing now or not.
I don't hear it
Mic
now.
off.
I don't hear it.
And the question was, again,
Wha-
as a psychic medium,
Right. Do you feel like sometimes it can enable or enhance your investigation?
well, I'll go ahead and go for a minute here. I've always been trying to figure out the right word to use, kind of trying to coin a name, so to speak, because my psychic medium abilities are a combination between that and ITC equipment. It's like an electro medium or something of that nature. You know, when I go in, again, I never investigate. I walk in knowing I'm going to talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all just pure communication. You know, with whoever whoever wants to come forward, but they tend to come forward pretty good because I'm actually trying to get to know them. I'm not trying to catch them on camera. I'm not trying to catch. I mean, I got recording devices on and cameras on, but it's so I can hear later. Like,
Mhm.
you know, the cemetery that I've went into more than a couple times, there were things on my recording that I didn't hear the first time. And when I went back, I was able to pick up on the conversation, you know, because the universe has no time, you know, so it's like I was just there 2 minutes ago to them, you know, and so, but yeah, that's where my psychic medium abilities come in because I go in, I can sense that they're there, I know that they're there, and I just start talking to them with my equipment on, and uh, the energy ability. Again, I don't ever know how to word this. I couldn't tell you how many recordings I've got where I came through the SB7. That's how energetic I am when I'm talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually heard my voice come through simultaneously with me saying something, like on a number of recordings. And I think that's why they can hear me so well. Is because I'm not in a human body. I'm talking to them soul to soul. If you know what I mean. I
I
don't know
do.
if I worded that right.
Yeah.
And so I don't even feel like I'm human when I'm talking to them, to be honest with you. I'm floating around. If you watch any of my videos, you can see that I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off in there.
Yeah.
But I don't ever remember any of it. Like in body, I don't ever remember any of it until I watch the video. Oh yeah, I remember doing that, you know, but at the time I'm just kind of off in my own world, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a good question. Hey Derek,
Yes, I
that's a
do.
real good question. Everything in the universe is intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Everything. I firmly believe, okay, considering like for example Bigfoot, they're on a different dimension. That's why at a particular time, that's when you happen to be able to see one. That's why we've never been able to find one. Is because it's just you get a visual of them. And I sometimes I crack this joke, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was true. On the planet that Bigfoot people are from, I wouldn't be surprised if Bigfoot's run around with their cameras catching humans once in a while.
Wouldn't surprise
Yeah.
me.
It'd be the funniest thing, man. A Bigfoot be like, "Did you see that human? I got him on camera. Here, let me throw a rock at him." And then that's when we see him throw a rock at us. Is probably when they saw us. But
Gotta wear a suit, when you go hunting.
yeah, it sounds kind of funny, but on my recordings now, again, I am absolutely positive that it's all intertwined. I've heard everything from one extraterrestrial saying to another, like they're given instructions because they're coming down to see me, and I got part of the sentence on a recording, and the sentence was, "When you first start to orbit," and that was the only part of it was sounding like he was instructing someone else as they're orbiting the Earth's atmosphere.
Well,
I mean, I've got all kinds of recordings where it shows that extraterrestrials, star seeds, spirit, all of that is intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you can think of that they call mythology is real. It's like elves, dwarves, fairies, all of that is real. At one point or another, alien races from different star systems have landed here. Human beings have seen them. Bam, you got elves. Okay, but then you didn't, then they're gone. It's kind of a awesome intertwining. It's very hard to explain. I've rambled. I apologize.
That's okay.
All good.
What about you, Rebecca?
You'll be trying.
Or do you think everything is connected? Aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, etc.? Question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I believe the same way that Reggie does. I agree with his concept. I believe that everything is connected. Like Bigfoot is definitely interdimensional, and the Native Americans even talked about that. And they have stories that talk about Bigfoot and how he's a mystery creature.
Yep. Got anything to add, Angela? We can't hear you.
Your mic isn't
Mic's
working.
Okay, so I disagree that I mean everything's 36 first, but I am spent more time with the than anybody else in this room. I've been a deer hunter for a very long time. I don't believe Bigfoot's interdimensional. And people from the city see deer. They say deer are interdimensional because they disappear very quickly. And it's not that they're disappearing into a different dimension. It's that there's no camouflage with their coats that they seem to just disappear. And they hardly make any noise when they do. And people would think they were in a different dimension. And they are not. They're just very well camouflaged and they're just very stealthy when they move into the woods. So I would think Bigfoot is a biological entity, its own animal, but not connected to aliens or dimensions or anything else. I don't think it has the ability to do that. Otherwise, everything in the woods would have the ability to do that, and that's not the case. And I could also say that I've seen a cryptid. I've seen a black cat, what they used to call Kentucky panthers. It stood about 4 feet at the shoulder. Its tail was longer than its body, had short, chubby legs. We don't find those bones of those animals in those woods, and they're not interdimensional. They just sneak by you, and they're very silent. They have big paw pads, so it's easy for them to disappear in the woods very easily since they're very dark and stealthy. So I don't believe they're interdimensional. As far as ghosts, I think ghosts are separate. I've seen spirits in the woods, but I don't think they're connected to Bigfoot in any sort of way. What else did you want to see connected? Oh, UFOs. UFOs would come and go. They can interdimensional beings. They can come and go. They can probably act as ghosts or do similar manifestations as ghosts, just because of advanced technology. That's the answer to that question.
Well, the good thing is on this podcast, like a few other people that we know, your opinion is not wrong. It's your opinion, and you're not judged for that. So, you're able to say and feel whatever you want here.
Oh yeah, yep. I was randomly muting mics on here just to see when I muted Rebecca and Nikki,
How dare you?
both Angela stopped echoing. I don't know which one is which, but so if you see yourself muted, it's because I just kind of click this while Angela's talking.
Yeah.
For a second. And so who's next? Nikki?
I think everybody went.
Oh,
Did you
okay.
answer that, Nikki?
I think so.
I think she did. Yeah. You're the last one, Reg.
Well, that's what I was saying as far as them intertwining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I firmly believe that Bigfoot's interdimensional because, and it's like Derek was saying on there, where do their bodies go when they die? No one ever finds them.
Right.
They got their own planet, I think, and there's actually other beliefs that they're on this planet, and this would actually kind of coincide with a mix between what I'm saying and what Angela's saying. There's also people that believe that they are a much higher dimension, but they're living on Earth with us, and we can't see them because of the dimensional difference. But they can see us, but we can't see them. And once in a while, you just happen to be able to see one, whether it be frequency or whatever. I don't know what would cause it to change in that particular case. But I couldn't tell you how many times I've heard on whether it be shows or whatever, footprints that just end leading to nowhere, and you never find a body, you never find anything, but you do find their little things that they build, like their little huts and stuff. Once in a while you'll find one of those, and once in a while you'll get a recording where you actually hear them. But am I a little louder?
Pardon?
I don't know if anybody noticed, but I moved my mic closer to me.
Yeah, you're louder.
Okay.
Is there any other questions in the comments you want to put up?
Let me see here. That's a funny one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Big hairy spies. Big hairy spies.
Yeah, aliens train the Bigfoots to throw pebbles to get our attention.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's funny.
It's like a Roswell experiment, if you've seen the show.
Yeah. So
There's another one there
I
too.
think of the. That's a good question.
I don't really know a whole lot about that.
I don't either.
Neither.
Me neither.
The Peru
I know
aliens.
that Dark Horse Paranormal had a show about it like a week or two ago.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Chris and Kristen.
So my next question is, okay, so what if you were given the opportunity to go into a building that, say it was an old state hospital, and you were going to be there for 8 hours? Would you go in for 8 hours by yourself?
Absolutely.
No,
Without hesitation, I would do it.
Me too.
me too.
Make sure there's chocolate in there for me too. As an additional motivation. It's a big pile of chocolate. When I come out the door, it's like there's chocolate in this for you. Come on.
I know Reggie would, so
Yeah, no,
Well,
thanks. I'm good.
I'm there is a depending situation there on my end.
Yeah.
okay.
I want the ability to turn a light on.
Oh,
Mm.
well, you
Yeah.
might have your own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't want. When part of my abilities involve clairaudient, like where it's so loud that it sounds like there's actually somebody running up to me. This is why I don't like going near the woods at night. If I'm not in fear of like spirit or anything running up to me, but this world's full of animals that can eat you.
Yeah.
Human beings that can hurt you.
Yeah.
And it's so clear to me when I hear it that I don't really know whether or not I'm about ready to get attacked by somebody or not, in body.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather be able to see.
Mhm.
I've had a little bit of I've had things move a couple times, and if I hear something fall over, I'd rather be able to see what's falling over and where it's at, that type of thing. So
So I'm going to tell you what I think about something, and then you all can tell me what you think. When it comes to phone apps for investigating, I don't like the phone apps because I think it picks up too much from your electronic and it's downloaded on your phone, and I think it can pick up things from it. That's my thought. I don't know what you all's thought is on app situations where people use their phone apps for investigating.
all right, go ahead, Angela.
I agree with you. I think that the apps can have issues. They can be buggy. They can have built-in effects in them that play repeatedly that you think it's paranormal, but it's not. It's just an effect that the app is generating itself. Plus your phone is sensitive enough to pick up other things, and you could have this overlap. So I agree with you. I don't like phone apps so much. Like I said, I like the old school tape recorder or digital voice recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Playing camera, it's not a network. That's just a monitor in a room. It's not connected to internet. It can't be hacked and somebody put something else on there. That type of thing. I don't like phone apps too much.
Yeah, I mean either.
All right, next. I know Rebecca's answer to this.
All right, Reggie, you start me off. I'll continue the rest. The sentence.
That's basically all you use other than the SB11.
So, okay, continue. Then I'll finish. No, I'm just
Go ahead.
Well, remember, there's no wrong answer, so it's just your opinion.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I basically I like to use GhostTube. I haven't had issues with GhostTube app. I mean, some apps are okay, and some downloads are okay, and you get some good evidence. It just depends on what apps you're using
Yeah.
and what downloads you're using. If you're using a crappy app, yeah, you're going to have a lot of malfunctions in it. You're not always going to get the right information coming through.
Mhm.
And also, some apps use your geological location to put in information that could result in that literal area to make it sound like you're getting the information.
Yeah.
Not saying that all apps do that. So I completely understand what Angela is saying in certain circumstances because I've had that.
Mhm.
But I also do like to use the the SB11s and the Phasma box. Because Spirit boxes old school. I have recorders. I
Mhm.
do have recorders. I do use those. Um, so it's just a combination between old school and new school. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Nikki.
Sorry, mine's the same answer as Rebecca. um, yeah, we kind of investigate the same way, just in a different location. So with me, I like to use the same app. So yeah, pretty much everything's the same answer as Rebecca for
Yeah.
that one.
Now, you wouldn't believe how high tech the universe is. I believe that practically any app, even ones that seem to be proven to be fake or whatever, can be used if you wholeheartedly are trying to use it, and the star family, the extraterrestrials, the spirits, they realize that the only way that they're going to be able to communicate with you is if they communicate through that particular thing, whatever it is. And they have the technology to do it. I've had, and this is part of, again, it could just be my abilities, I don't know. But I've actually had my, um, I've got episodes of shows in MP4 that I've had playing in my media player, and then the screen would start to scramble, and I thought my computer was overheating, so I would shut down my computer and turn it back on. And it happened several times on several different episodes of several different shows. And then one day I caught on, and I went back to one of those episodes, and one of my guides actually added words to the MP4 to send a message through to me. It was amazing. I like I couldn't believe it. So from there on out, I just kind of waited, and I said, "Are you guys done yet? Are you guys done yet?" And then when the computer stopped scrambling, I would go back into the MP4 and see what they said. And that's not even an app. And they're able to manipulate it to talk to me. And so now some of those that's got like specific word banks, they would have to be pretty spot on about what word they'd pop up. But again, I still think that they can manipulate it to say anything they wanted to. The universe is powerful.
Mhm.
You know, they're good. There is no time in the spirit world or in the universe. It's a human man-made thing. You know, time, clocks,
Right.
midnight, dates, all that stuff is just man-made so that they could keep track of records here on Earth. And but if you were to go by human time, the universe is about 3,000 years farther advanced in technology than Earth is. I mean, easy. 2,500 years, 3,000. And so nearly anything can work. it depends on your intentions, and it depends on a lot of it has to do with it is they see you as a soul, and so if your intentions aren't pure, it might not ever work for you. If they are pure, they're going to make the impossible work, and I'm positive of it.
I'm not totally against all apps, but I'm mainly the one I'm talking about is the ones that's got words and names, and I think that they can pick up from your phone.
Well, that might be. I don't like using ovaluses because I'd rather hear their actual voice.
Yeah.
They might be using it to talk to you, but I'd rather hear their actual
Right.
spiritual voice. That's why I don't like them.
Yeah. Now there is an app. I don't know if any of you have ever done a spray. Do you know what that is?
What is it called?
A spray? No? Well, in your most active place of your investigation, if you use a good form of light and a spray bottle upside down, spraying the water up, I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's amazing. But there's an app to use for this, and it's called Ghost Cam, CAM.
That sounds familiar.
And sometimes you get something, sometimes you don't, just like anything else. But it is amazing the kind of things that you can actually capture in that. Sometimes you may just get a face or a full apparition.
Sorry, I was doing some mic muting again.
So that's that's pretty amazing to me. I mean, sometimes when you're actually standing there watching it, you can actually see something form right in front of you. It's pretty amazing. You'll have to look it up and try it. But it's a very different technique, I think.
That's the first time I'm hearing it. That's interesting.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, first time I've heard of it. We'll give it a go.
Yeah, you'll have to look it up. I mean, if you look up Ghost Sisters, Mandy, she does it quite a bit. So
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing.
There was a question there.
Yes.
Sometimes it is your guide, I would say.
Yes.
I think it's a combination of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Agreed.
Because you can call in anybody,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
anyone.
Yeah.
I had one experience that was it was before I had security cameras in here, so I didn't actually catch it on camera, but it would have been awesome if I did. I was watching a show, and they were at Bobby Mackey's,
There you go.
and I started going off, like, kind of out loud, but not really. It was more telepathic, going off on the
Mhm.
One of them that was in the basement of Bobby Mackey's. And I was saying I'm clairvoyant, like I can hear, clairaudient, I mean, I could hear out loud. Well,
Mhm.
there was a very noticeable growl behind me as I was doing this. Like I was kind of calling them out a little bit. And I turned my head at precisely the same moment that my cat goes. He heard it too. It was that loud in here. And And I wish I'd had cameras in here at that time because, man, he practically jumped out of his skin hearing it himself,
Yeah.
talking about my cat.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, this is a little early in my awakening when this happened. And so I didn't get afraid or anything, but I kind of knew the abilities were real, you know.
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't even know where I ended up going into that story or why.
So good, Reg.
That's a pretty
It's
cool
okay.
story.
We learn things from each
I mean,
other.
that is one of the most haunted places.
Yeah, I think that I'm probably going to end up with a whole lot there if I ever get to go. Um, I'm a Randall. That's my last name.
Yeah.
And so I'm related somehow to Robert Randall.
Yeah.
And he's the one that got killed by the father.
Right.
I gotta, so I can just go in there and say, hey, I'm a Randall too. I'll end up getting some
2 minutes
coffee,
later, we're all. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, man, I don't ever get to go nowhere though. I'm like one of the few people that I've seen. Everybody's like that I associate with, like on the podcast and all that.
Mhm.
Almost every week, it seems like a lot of these people are like, "Man, I was just at the Ashmore Estates, or I was just here, or I was just there." I'm like, I'm going to work 40 hours a week, and I'm stuck at this desk
Yeah.
like the whole week. I can't ever get away from here, you know. But that's why I feel so blessed that I have all the recordings I do, is because nearly everything's been done at my desk.
Yeah. You don't actually have to be somewhere to actually, experience
Get the-
something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
So you ready for another question?
Daily double,
Yeah.
500.
So do all of you have your own team, and do you collaborate with other teams?
I'll go first if you want. So I'm part of a team that's based around Australia. So it's myself and another investigator, but we do have other teams around Australia. Nightwatch Paranormal Australia. And also I do help other teams around the world, so like US, and yeah, I kind of jump on and help them out when they investigate. So yep, that's me.
Angela?
I'm on a team called Supernatural Hunters of Ohio.
We can't hear you too well.
Hang on, I'll turn my mute off on.
Okay.
Nope.
Is she trying to talk? Yeah, your sound's completely cut out.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm on a team of Supernatural Hunters of Ohio, and I've done my first investigation with them. They know what they're doing, so I'm glad to be in their team. I was on another group called Paranormal out of Kentucky, out of Maysville, Kentucky. It was 3.5, 4 hour drive to get down there. Remotest part of Ohio, then to northern Kentucky and Maysville. But I've only been on 2 investigations with them. Since they're so far away, it's just not very practical. Since Supernatural Hunters of Ohio are right in Ohio, it's more practical. You know, we're spread it across the state, but we do try to meet centrally at different areas where we are. So I think it's much easier to be in a group.
Miss Rebecca?
I have my own team that I founded called the Connecticut Psychic and Paranormal Investigators Response Team. And I created this team because I believe that it's important for all of us together who are sensitives and investigators to help to solve these cases and investigations. And I believe that we're always learning. And I like working together with people like myself. I also like investigating with friends. So it's not always about my team. And sometimes I get people that come to me and they want to know how to use a tool. Or what about how do you work with your abilities? What are ways I can protect myself? They ask me these questions. So as I'm learning, because I'm always learning, I don't care what level somebody's at, everybody's learning, and we're all here to teach and help each other. And that's the way I see it.
I agree.
And Nikki?
She was the first one.
Oh,
It's okay. I'll redo it.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll redo it. It's all good.
Aw.
I apologize.
Sorry. It's okay, Reggie. It's all good. So I'm part of a very small team. It's myself and another investigator. We're called Night Witches Paranormal Perth, but we are based around Australia and we have individual teams. The reason why I joined that team is I like the way they investigate. They're extremely respectful. They treat the living and the deceased with respect. And also I help around teams around the US as well. So.
As soon as you said the word Australia, I'm like, oh yeah, she did go.
It's all good.
I'm like, man.
Wake up, Reg. You need that caffeine.
Up until this point, my team has been my star family. I've been led to the light, so to speak, and so yeah, that's all. They bring in spirit and souls and man, all kinds of extraterrestrials come to see me all the time, and oh yeah. And
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of my team. To the normal human eye, I'm walking in alone. But
Yeah.
I'm really walking in with a team of about 30. So,
There you go.
yeah. So, but that's the reason why I don't worry so much about protection. You know,
Yeah.
because they pretty much control the whole situation. And I wouldn't even be able to say this if I hadn't actually heard it with my own ears on my recordings. You know?
Mm-hmm.
They talk back and forth with each other, and if I run the white noise at night where I can't hear it but I'm asleep, spirit will come in all the time and say, "Is Reggie here?" And I'll hear one of my guides answer right back, "He's dreaming right now," or "He's asleep right now."
Yeah.
And so so I do have a team. I would like to be on a physical human team one of these days.
You will be.
But,
Join us.
That's a long drive.
I mean, you can join us, but it's like a 48-hour flight. So.
Level
Well,
110.
if my abilities get increased high enough, I might actually be able to get a rental UFO.
I gotta
Get
say,
stars.
Australia would probably be my place that I would have
Oh,
on my
thanks, babe.
bucket list.
We'd love to have you. I mean, it'd be a bit of a flight, but love to have you.
I want to pet a koala bear and
Right?
a kangaroo.
I agree with
And a
Reggie on
kangaroo.
this.
Yeah.
I want to pet one.
Don't think you get through customs, but you know,
I didn't say I wanted to take it home. I just want to go out in the woods and pet one.
Yeah.
yeah, go for
All
it.
of my little kangaroo
I'm
cats.
always teasing here in the U.S. too about like I always want to pet like a diamondback rattlesnake.
Oh,
Just walk up and pet it.
oh no.
Yeah, no.
You can
I
keep
don't
that
think they'll
one.
be too happy.
So, have any of you used your abilities to help unsolved cases or missing persons?
I have.
I'll go first. With that one, I'm trying at the moment with Rebecca above to help some of the sisters in the US. So.
That is super cool. What about you,
And
Reg?
I've been trying to call on her the last few days.
Yeah.
Myself. Talking about Robin. Okay. Well, that was. It's kind of a funny story. I've been able to find. Well, there's 4 missing children. 3 of which I couldn't make a phone call on because I found out that they were deceased, and they were Amber Alerts. And so if I would have made a call, I would have instantly been arrested.
Mm-hmm.
But they found them right where I was told that they would be at.
Yep.
And but the first time I went to my very first cemetery, St. Michael's, while I was at that cemetery, I couldn't find little Arnold Dreyer's headstone. He was a stillborn in 1919. And I asked the cemetery, I asked everybody there talking to me if they could lead me to him. And they did, through the SB7. They kind of led me to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a week later, there was a girl that had drowned, and they couldn't find her body in the river.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching the news, and I saw her whole family, on the shore, just wondering where she was, trying to find her, and the police were combing through the river and everything. And when I saw that, my energy just went through the roof. I couldn't help it. I turned on all my equipment, started asking questions, did the playback, heard everything I needed to hear. When I pointed at a map, I asked them how far do I go down, and they told me when. They told me she was under a bridge. I asked them what street crossed the bridge. They gave me the street name without me saying it. I called the police 54 hours before they found her body in the exact location I told them she was at. 54 hours. The family does not know about it. They had a protocol, they had to search every inch of the river, and they couldn't just take the word of some crazy guy from Madison giving them a phone call. They had to do the whole thing, but she was literally found in the exact spot that I told them. And a couple of the officers, I had them on the phone on the Sunday in between the 2 days. I called them and told them Saturday morning. They found her Monday morning. And my Star family told me she was 7 foot in depth. Without me telling the officer what they said, I asked him how deep is it. He said it's about 6 feet under that bridge. And I said, well, I know that's where she's at. And it was the next day they found her there. My psychic medium abilities really kicked in on that Monday morning because I was out on the balcony, and at this point I didn't know what was going on, at the time. and it was literally about 11 o'clock in the morning, and I looked down. I had a vision that I was standing in a canoe,
Mhm.
and I looked down and I saw a little hand reaching up for me,
Aw.
and
Okay.
I reached down to grab that hand, and it was within 10 minutes of that, 5 minutes or 10 of that, out on the balcony, that I could hear, and I'm sure it was my psychic medium abilities.
Mhm.
They found her, Reg. And I went in and I started watching the different newscasts, and at about 12:30 they said that a civilian that was helping in the search found her. He was going through the river. Now, I said canoe that I was standing in. He was in a kayak, and it was 11:05 when they found her. It was a perfect match to when I had the vision and the whole nine. Um, yeah, it's very rare that I get through this story without crying.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
Every
trying.
time, every time I tell it,
heartbreaking.
little Maddie's right here. Every time I tell this story, I know she's here. But
Yeah.
yeah. So the family never knew about it, but there's a couple of Rock County sheriff, deputies that's got my name in their desk. Because I called back Monday morning and I said, I told them, I said, uh, so I didn't know the name of the bridge. I said, and then the deputy gets on there and he goes, I was sitting next to the officer you were telling this to, and he had it on speakerphone. And my God, Reg, you were right. And he got all excited because he never heard of anybody getting something right like that, psychic medium wise or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of where I started to do all my, started to follow true crime stories, and I've been trying to
Mhm.
solve unsolved murders and whatnot. I've tried to figure out the Black Dahlia case and just all kinds of them. And so again, I'm rambling again. I
Greg is
apologize.
Greg Cost is coming and asking for a link.
So, Rebecca, you want to say something about that?
Sorry, that was really loud.
Oh, you're fine.
All right. Yeah. So, the first one of the investigations that I had that was really intense on that subject of missing people would be the Naugatuck. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Would be
Yep, you're all good.
The Naugatuck River case, and so the first time that I went there, I communicated with one of the victims. Her name was Brianna Beam, and I felt her emotions, and I could see that she was struggling to get away from the people that she was with, and I could feel her emotions and things like that. And she started to communicate with me through my devices and things like that. And then some of the other girls started to communicate with me in the area about what they went through. One of the victims, her name was Karen Everett, and I started to have a vision that she was strangled, and I could feel myself being dragged. And so that was one of my communications with her, and it also happened to one of the other girls. I've been working with Angela on this as well, and with other people like myself, because like I said, I believe we should all work together.
Mm-hmm.
And she's helped me quite a bit, and I really appreciate it. And these girls to this day still continue to communicate. But one of the things that I plan on doing is going to the cemetery and bringing her some flowers, because I know that they want to be remembered, and they keep telling me, remember justice, remember. So I feel like that's going to bring them some peace. and then whatever comes through over time. And then the other cases of Robin Murphy, but I've seen some things on her from what I've seen,
Mhm.
but I can't tell you physically as far as a location. That's where she is, and I feel like that's something I would need help at or to figure out. Robin Frances Murphy disappeared in Carmel, New York in 1995. And I believe that she's definitely in the water, and I've seen some things associated with it of what occurred,
You
but
have an echo.
I don't know.
Who typed that in?
I don't know,
Hi,
but
Greg.
it's really bad.
I have no idea.
Hi, Greg.
Because
Hi, everybody.
that's coming across
Greg.
all of my
I hope
pages.
you're back with them. That's weird.
I'm
I
not the one
almost,
that
I
typed
almost
that
feel
in.
like I'm seasick right now from all that echo.
Did you type that in, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I typed. You're even echoing.
It's coming off of Rebecca and Nikki's end.
Spare communication.
Yep.
It's a secret star. It's a secret
Man, I
star
said-
seed somewhere.
You freaked me out, Greg. You freaked me out
Where were you last night?
because I thought everything here was getting hacked into because I sure as hell didn't type in echo on everything. I'm like where did that come from?
Good grief!
Yeah, I was wondering why my other computer was freezing up, Greg. You were trying to video call me or something while I was on a podcast.
Yeah.
It
So,
is
Greg,
really bad right now.
Yeah, I couldn't. I didn't notice, Greg, because I was like listening to everybody talking. I didn't notice you're trying
It
to
was
come
like
in.
chop suey.
so Greg, did you hear the question?
Yeah, I would. Yes.
Okay. Do you want to answer to that?
Not right now. Not
Okay,
right now.
that's fine.
I'm gonna take a couple minutes and.
Yeah, that's fine. But I want to say that everything that
That's
you
good.
guys do to help other people, especially the police with missing cases and things like that, is pat yourself on the back because you really, I'm sure there's families out there that would love to have you all on their side. I have a friend who has a missing case actually, and we've never really gotten too far with it, but we'll have to talk about that sometime. I'll have to ask her about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we
Thank you.
get this echo taken care of?
I don't know what it is.
Me neither.
You're not hearing an echo?
And
I hear an echo when other
I'm
people
gonna go
talk.
off mic.
That's what I'm talking about. It's
Are you hearing an echo when I talk, Greg? Okay, now hold on a minute.
I can
All right, hold on. Give
You
me a
want me
second.
to back out?
No. I'm testing this.
I thought it was
I just
there before I even
muted.
jumped
I
on.
just muted Rebecca. Now, do you hear an echo? No.
I don't.
Okay, it's Rebecca and Nikki. Their speakers.
I'll jump back on.
Say
Yeah.
somebody else.
I just turned it back on. Their mic is sensitive enough that it's picking up what comes out of the speaker on their computer.
You got some spirits in your microphone, Rebecca.
Probably.
Wouldn't surprise
Coming,
me.
Ray.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have any questions in the comments that you want to put up?
Offhand,
That was really weird.
If you want to repeat that question again,
Um,
Pam.
Can you see
The
me all
question-
still?
the question was,
That was weird.
I don't
Can
even
you
know if I
guys
can-
see me?
huh? Was somebody asking a question?
I'm just looking.
I think it's me because I'm freezing.
Oh,
Like it keeps dropping in and out.
so the question was, Greg, has anyone worked on missing person cases?
What
worked
the
with the police on a case?
earth? I might leave and then I'll come back.
Okay. She froze just at that moment, I thought.
Oh,
Oh, 2 people left.
Yeah, they both left.
I had the opportunity, and I haven't taken it yet, to work with a group called Project Psi. And Project Psi is pretty much at the forefront as far as what they've been discovering and what they've been finding. And it's a group of psychic mediums that are put together by Dr. Chuck Kennedy
Hmm.
out of St. Charles, Illinois. And the ones, the 540 or whatever, the figure is probably going to be wrong. Humans, the trafficking part, they were found before last Christmas. Now it's me.
What's that?
I thought it was the echo.
It is the echo. They came back in. Yeah, it's their speaker is just loud enough, or their mic is just sense enough that it's picking your voice back up and it's feeding it back through. That's what's going on.
But they incorporate not only the psychic abilities but also remote viewing. And
See, I just
they do
muted
an
him,
awesome
so
job.
you shouldn't be echoing now.
And they've had other ones that have been super big cases, and they've done an awesome job.
That's pretty interesting to be able to do something like that. I'm sure.
Well, I'm still on the edge
Yeah.
because I
That
got a lot of other things going on, and that takes a lot of your time and effort.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Like Reggie knows.
Yeah. He takes a lot of time and effort, right?
So it's a pleasure meeting you.
It's a
I've never
pleasure to
met
meet
you.
you. Yeah, I've never met any of you, so this is the very first time for me to meet all of you. So thank you. I appreciate it.
The only person here I've met in person is Greg.
He lives close.
Yeah.
So Rebecca, do you give classes or something, or?
I've done a class on crystals and how to work with crystals and healing, but that is something that I might want to consider in the future. Honestly, so that's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably with my paranormal team, more than likely, because I'm doing a class on how to work with tools and things and protection and all that in September with my investigator.
That's cool. Yeah, that might be something you want to think about later. I know a lot of people out there do that, so, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it takes a lot of your time and it takes a lot of energy, and, it's a lot for everyone. So, yeah, that might be something you might want to think about later. So, Greg, I'll ask you a few questions. I've already asked them, if that's okay. Can you tell me about your most memorable investigation?
Wow. That's pretty heavy. Probably OSR, Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. I've got quite a few that were right up there. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, I caught an apparition of a nurse there. That is just probably one of the neatest pictures, and it's probably because it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it goes, but
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful picture, and it shows her, the nurse, and her cat.
Wow.
And I saw a picture that was taken 5 years before that.
Yeah.
This is crazy with this echo. That this picture was taken 5 years before that, and it shows an apparition, and at the bottom of it was the same cat. It was taken by friends of mine from the group I was with at the time, from Ghost Research Society, which is
Wow.
which is Dale the Kazmarek's group.
Wow. That's awesome.
Who's
And
your
that was one of the biggest ones. But that was Old South.
who's your
And
Facebook
that
user?
same time, we when we got there, we drove all night. We got there about 9:30 in the morning. We were at the back entrance of the hospital, and we sort of opened up the doors, and I got up to stretch it out and walk around. And I went to the back side of the emergency area, and all it was a glass, two glass wall with double glass doors, and the entrance into the hospital there, inside that, was all plywood. And as I approached it, and I had a friend of mine from the group behind me, somebody grabbed the handles or the doors from the inside and started doing this with them. Very, very, very loudly.
Wow.
And Michael behind me said, "Was that you?" And I says, "Look where I am, Mike." So we tried to redo it. See, and he's got me by about a foot. He's a big guy. So I said, grab the handles of the door and shake them as loud as you can. He didn't come close. I could see the glass doing this
Yeah.
with my own eyes. I wish I would have been filming it, because that's, once again, that happens to everybody in the investigation part, that never has their camera at the right time, especially when they first get out of their vehicles.
Wow.
If
That
I
would
might,
be crazy.
It was
My-
absolutely insane.
if I might interrupt
had
just 1 second.
Go ahead.
Inside of another, I'm sorry, Reggie.
Is there a delay on your end,
What?
Greg?
Yeah.
Is there a delay?
I'm going to go ahead and let me go out and see if that's me.
Okay. There's a Facebook user. I don't know what your name is. They posted two things
Hey,
on
Facebook
here.
user.
I don't know who you are. And so we would like to, if you could tell us who you are. That would be great. Oh, how are you doing? Melanie Sobalos.
Hi, Melanie.
Yes, Angela.
Do you have anything for Melanie, Angela?
Well, for Melody Sabalos, first, do I have anything for her? Any messages for her?
If I'm not mistaken, that's Anthony's better half.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I have to work with a photo of her to see, to pick up messages. So I have to work with the image of the person. And then if I have a picture, then I can get the information, usually.
Yeah, I'm just strictly an ITC guy.
Testing.
I'm not really an ITC guy. I'm a
Well,
psychic.
I mean, you could
medium
turn
that-
on the ITC and we'll see if any of her guys want to come through and talk to Melanie and see if her guys have something to say to her through the equipment tonight.
Well,
And
I
that
think
would-
we'd be. I
Who's
think
Melanie?
if-
Oh, that's Anthony's.
That's
Isn't
what
that
I just
Anthony's
said.
wife?
Yes.
I don't know who's gonna come through.
Thank you.
If I was to turn these on right now, I was thinking
Okay.
about doing it for a few minutes, but I know Robin's been hanging out with me, and Jason from Nebraska has been kind of hanging out with me. That's another cold case here lately, and Robert Manley is always here. That's the guy that dropped Elizabeth Ann Short, the Black Dahlia, off at the Biltmore Hotel. I've been talking to Robert Manley a bit. I always hear him. So it's hard to say who's going to come through. They all know what my intentions are right now, because I didn't say nothing in the podcast, but I've had the ITC equipment on for the last 10 minutes warming it up. And they all know it's on.
I'm looking at Melanie's photo and I just see a female with her, a female spirit. She's all in white. She almost looks transparent to me. She keeps showing
Someone
me
having
a white feather. She keeps showing me a white feather. Okay, and then she's holding up. The feather looks bigger, and has. Okay, she says it's a white eagle feather. Okay, and now she's appearing Native American to me. And then she's holding up the white eagle feather. She says medicine. She says eagle medicine. And then she says, look to the sky, look to the sky. And she's pointing up. I see her pointing up. And I see an eagle flying. She says, she's just showing me this, and this is going to be her to describe. looking up while at the same time, while she's looking up, the eagle's looking down at her. And so she wants you to see from both perspectives, both looking up at the eagle and then the eagle looking down. So she's talking about doing medicine work. She says, do medicine work. Hi. So when she's talking medicine, this is working with your spirit animal. In this case, she's talking about an eagle. And that when you're doing your medicine work, is to work through eagle and to imagine being in both places at once, both on the ground and looking from above. And so she says, imagine you are the eagle and that you're looking through the eyes of the eagle. And through the eyes of the eagle, you can focus on anything using your vision, using your third eye. She says, imagine using your third eye, but imagine that you are the eagle and you're using the eagle's eyes to look from above down, and also from where you are in body, looking up at the eagle. She says she was a medicine woman, a practicing healer, and she's here to teach you those skills. So it sounds like you have this shamanistic ability that she's teaching you.
Wow. Who's this, Melanie?
Yes, this is from Melanie. And she feels really strong, so she's definitely a Native American woman, but I can't tell what tribe. Only I can tell you that she is that she is a healer, and she is a shamanistic healer. So she works through visualization and through her psychic gifts to be able to travel through the spirit world, and using those spirit animals as her guides in the spirit realm to help bring healing to others.
I wanted to stop by, but I'm going to have to leave because I have to check out everything for tomorrow night because we're going through Supernatural Inc. now. So my two shows will be on there, but I just wanted to say hi and talk to a few of you people because I've never met. I know Nikki and I know Rebecca and I know Angela, but I never met Pam. So I appreciate it, Reggie. I have to get over
problem.
there and make sure that everything's okay.
You're welcome,
Thank you very
Melanie.
much. Okay, we'll see you guys later. Nice meeting you,
Good
Pam.
night.
Okay, you guys too.
Bye, Greg. Good to
Bye.
meet you.
You too.